Welcome to the news at noon. I'm Connie Leonard. The city's biggest company is reportedly for sale. The Wall Street Journal reports Humana is in talks with its rival Cigna. The blockbuster merger would create a new powerhouse in the healthcare industry. The Journal says Humana recently made moves to clear the deck for a merger by getting rid of a key unit. The company also named a new CEO in October, replacing Bruce Broussard, who has been running Humana since 2013 and leaves on January 8th. The report also notes a deal could be finalized by the end of the year. This once again raises major questions about the future of the company in Louisville and its headquarters. Humana has 11,000 employees here. When asked about it, Humana responded with a quote saying no comment on the Cigna deal rumor. Well, today, crews topped out their work over on the Louisville VA Medical Center. Today's event celebrated the topping out of the last structural beam of the building with time-honored traditions of both the United States military and building construction. The $840 million project will include a full-service hospital with 104 beds dedicated to serving local veterans. The new facility will replace the Robley Rex VA Medical Center on Zorn Avenue, allowing for better service and care.
As we move into the more complex features of the medical center and support facilities, I hope the spirit of teamwork we show today continues for successful project completion.
And crews broke ground on the facility November of 2021. Construction of the new facility is expected to be completed by 2026. Well, we are getting an updated look at the construction of the Norton Healthcare and Goodwill Opportunity Campus coming to West Louisville. The facility opened its doors for a tour, walking us through the progress it's made. Goodwill maintains it has closed a lot of the funding gaps needed for that project, needing just $2.4 million now. Goodwill also gave us a look at the timeline. The plan is to be close to completion by December 21st. Move-in is set for the end of January with its doors opening to the public in February.
And we want to do everything we can to make sure that people feel welcome here, and this is not a mysterious place to them, an intimidating place to them. We want them to come in and feel a warm welcome and feel like there are people here who care about the problems that they face and are ready to help them work through that.
The property will be the first new hospital west of 9th Street in more than 100 years. Right now, Norton Children's Hospital is seeing a spike in RSV. Norton tells us this month about 1,600 pediatric RSV cases have been diagnosed. The current spike in the respiratory condition is higher than any peak during the 2022-2023 season. Last week, Norton said they saw a record number of kids test positive for RSV. Officials say it's too early to tell if this season cases are higher than last season. Today, they are urging families to take precautions.
The biggest things that I warn parents to watch out for would be that work of breathing that your child is experiencing. Are they breathing faster? Are they using their belly? You will see a child who has maybe a severe case of RSV using those extra muscles to breathe.
Symptoms of RSV include runny nose, decrease in appetite, cough, fever, and wheezing. Doctors say you should watch for symptoms, keep up good hygiene, and stay away from vulnerable populations to reduce your child's risk. Some residents in Cordon, Indiana are slowly getting their water restored this afternoon. It's due to that massive water main break we told you about yesterday. The Cordon Town Hall posted the info on Facebook that crews worked all night and have service restored to everyone except those in Settlers Trace. Officials say materials are being delivered to residents at 1 o'clock. Bottled water is expected to be available for pickup today at the Harrison Township Fire Department. A boil water advisory is still in place and will be lifted once bacteria samples have been collected for 48 hours and test negative. Authorities say there is no known contamination and they hope to have the boil water advisory lifted by Saturday. Well, here in Louisville, water is back on for 8 businesses near the outer loop. That's according to a spokesperson with the Louisville Water Company. There was a large water main break on Preston Highway Wednesday morning. A crew is working right now to complete the repair, so you should still expect some lane closures on Preston Highway, but there are no traffic closures on the outer loop. Well, Racing Louisville FC now has a new head coach. Beverly "Bev" Yanez will now lead the club. This comes after an exhaustive month-long search that included candidates from across the globe. WHAS11's Kent Spencer sat down in a one-on-one interview with the new head coach to talk about her hopes going into the new season.
So, Bev, we are sitting in your office as the head coach. How does this feel? Has it sunk in?
Not officially, no, but obviously incredibly excited, incredibly honored to be leading this group.
What weight is on the pass?
You were the top assistant last year. You were essentially moving over a chair. How much different do you anticipate this being?
Obviously, every coach is different in whatever role they're in. I'm a very vocal, very passionate type of person, so I know that I will be that in this role, and I also know that creating those expectations and those standards early on of what our identity is, what our style of play is, and obviously gaining that buy-in as quickly as possible and pushing these players in every aspect is something I'm very much so looking forward to.
When it comes to buy-in, it wasn't that long ago you were one of the top players in this league around the world. How much does that help you with the players you're coaching?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just what I've experienced from a player's perspective is obviously, shaped myself as a coach massively. My experiences as an assistant coach has shaped who I will be in this role massively.
This club just barely missed out on the playoffs a year ago. Do you feel like you're close? And what is your vision?
Absolutely. I feel like this group in general, I've said it a million times and I fully believe it, is very special. Their belief in one another, their want to be the best versions of themselves for one another and obviously succeed as a collective is really incredible. For me, it's obviously assessing where we're at, where we can be, and how to get this group there as quickly as possible.
And today, Racing Louisville makes it official, holding a press conference for the new coach. That's at 2 this afternoon. Our team will be there and share the latest updates tonight, starting at 4. A big announcement today from Councilman Engel. After 2 decades of service to the city, he's stepping down from his council position at the end of his term in December of 2024. Engel represents District 22. That's the Fern Creek area. Now, in a statement, Councilman Engel said, quote, "I am proud to have been an advocate for the Fern Creek area during my tenure and have had the pleasure of working with so many outstanding individuals throughout my career." He goes on to say, "I thank you for your trust over the years and look forward to seeing you around the district over the coming months." JCPS will no longer have school start time delays due to inclement weather. Schools will now be on a go or no-go basis. The district told us yesterday when inclement weather arises this winter, schools will either have a non-traditional instruction or have snow days. NTI days allow students to use their computers to learn remotely. On snow days, school is canceled entirely. The Louisville Housing Authority, charged with overseeing thousands of public housing units across the city, has a new leader at the helm. It comes after concerning reports of unsafe living conditions and residents who were complaining about bed bugs and black mold. The agency's new leader says she plans to fix those problems. WHAS11 senior reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez and photojournalist Jessica Farley have those details.
Community leaders tell me one of their big concerns is that the new LMHA director has yet to visit some of these public housing complexes where we've seen these issues. Now, when we asked the new director about this, she says she plans for that to be the first thing she does when she arrives in Louisville next year.
And that is number one on my list, is to come see it, feel it, experience what people are experiencing. That's extremely important.
Elizabeth Strojan will be faced with problems like those at the Dosker Manor apartments. Seniors living there tell us they're battling mold, bed bugs, and neglect from management.
My reaction is those conditions are not acceptable for people to live in.
Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg introduced Strojan at a news conference Wednesday. She's set to replace Lisa Osanka. Also in the room for the announcement, she decided to step down following a turbulent end to her time overseeing thousands of public housing units across the city. Residents have accused LMHA of mistreatment. Strojan promising to make change, and she says that starts with more funding. Meanwhile, Chanel Helm, an advocate for those living in poor conditions, says she'll remain skeptical until she sees results.
And we're definitely looking at some sustainable, not just new, not just rehab, but sustainable housing that comes from governmental funds.
Strojan will start in her new role in January of next year. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
Has committed to creating 15,000 new affordable housing units in Louisville by the end of his first term. A final version of his My Louisville Home strategy is expected to be released next month. And for a closer look at some of the properties managed by the Metro Housing Authority, including the apartments at Dosker Manor, check out this story on our website, WHAS11.com. Mary Hurst has confirmed a 16-year-old hit and killed on the Gene Snyder 2 weeks ago was one of its first residents. The child welfare nonprofit says Ava Simmerly and another girl walked away from the Dorsey Lane campus just before 9 a.m. on November 18th. Now, a release from Mary Hurst says that staff tried to find those girls, then notified authorities. LMPD says Simmerly was hit on the Snyder near the Taylorsville Road exit around 7 that night. The other girl is now in state care. In a statement, Mary Hurst said it's heartbroken at the tragic loss and is committed to creating a safe, secure environment, but did say it's not a full security detention facility. Indiana State Police tell us that they've served more search warrants in the investigation involving former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll. He's being investigated for misconduct and theft during his time in office. Knoll was arrested earlier this month on 15 felony counts and is currently out on bond. While ISP won't say where the warrants were served, we were told that there were multiple